2K sports fans, for another exciting presentation of NBA basketball. With Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. We'll see the Memphis Grizzlies taking on the Washington Wizards.
Hello 2K fans, it's Loachbomb here with another My Team video. You saw the starting lineups, you might have noticed my opponent's got a good one, but he's also got a different player than I normally see at point guard, and that's John Wall. Look at my court, look at my jerseys, you can tell I am a Wizards fan, so I'm excited to play against John Wall in this game. And this is not the first opponent I've seen utilizing him. John Wall's in the game on a number of teams, and people like him because of his speed, his defense, and his ability to get inside and make some pretty good, amazing dunks. I think 2K kind of gypped him though on his defensive ratings. His on-ball defense is in the low 80s. I don't know it off the top of my head, and his steal rating is also not in the 90s. And John Wall, in my opinion, is the best defensive point guard in the game. Not a very good outside shooter. Not really a good shooter at all, except in terms of layups and whatnot. But his defense is amazing, and that's why I think he's a fun player to play with. But I also think 2K should have done better with his ratings. But look, he gets a steal right there, and already I'm facing some defensive pressure from John Wall. So my opponent's using his speed and his abilities. So good on him. And with that extra possession he gets it inside to Howard, and that's an easy layup. I don't really like seeing Dwight Howard. I consider him kind of a failure right now with the Lakers going after Shaq, who's pretty much one of the best centers to play for the Lakers in recent history. A lot of people have been talking about passing the torch, and I just don't think that Dwight Howard ever really picked it up. So whether he remains with the Lakers next season, we'll have to wait and see. But I don't think he's going to be there. Personally, he's probably going to end up at Houston. But either way, it just frustrates me seeing Dwight Howard take it to the rack against Shaq. This game is going to feature my sixth man, and it took me a long time to find my sixth man, but after you watch this video, I think you'll see I picked a good one to settle on, and he's probably going to remain my sixth man for the rest of the duration of me playing with this My Team mode, and I'll explain why. But first, I'll give you a little bit of a history. When I first played My Team mode, I went out and I watched the Chris Smoot video. He talked about Damian Lillard. I tried him out myself. He was a silver player, which means he only has the 50 VC salary, so that was easy for me to digest. Damian Lillard's really fast, and he plays good defense, and he can shoot the three. So with all those factors combined, I decided he'd make a perfect point guard. But then I started opening gold packs, and I got Jerry West pretty early on. He was probably my fourth gold legend, I think, and I got him within a week of starting the mode. So immediately I put him in and started using him a lot. So I had a backcourt with Jerry West, and I'd bring Lillard off the bench, and then I also had Monta Ellis as my shooting guard. Ellis is great because he gets inside and gets some points there. I'm not a big three-point shooter, so Ellis worked out pretty well, but the lack of size definitely hurt me. And Ellis is a fast player, but not a great defender, and I was getting torn up by a lot of the people who decide to put LeBron at point guard, put Durant at shooting guard, and just the lack of size was killing me. And then I decided, after I got Iverson, that I would have Jerry West at point guard and Iverson at shooting guard, and then I really got destroyed because I had a bunch of 6'1", 6'0" players outside. So it came to the realization that I would need some more size outside. But when I run the 1-3-1, typically the point guard, I like to use a fast guy, and it's okay for him to be small, and I can use the two outriggers as kind of my taller guys, so I need more size out there. So I could only go with one small guy. And with that, I started getting shooters. I'd go with Del Curry at shooting guard, people just a little more height. And it's amazing in this game how much height makes a difference. Del Curry, not really high defensive ratings, would still get blocks and at least contest shots from three-point shooters that I wouldn't get from players like Jerry West, which is kind of silly. You get more steals with Jerry West, but a couple possessions extra in a game doesn't really make up for guys that are going to rain down 10 threes on me. So I continued to search for a good defensive point guard, and I liked Jerry West. I just didn't know if he was my kind of guy. And I was going to use Iverson at point guard and see what he could do for me. I tried out all kinds of backups for Iverson. I tried Oscar Robinson. I got Magic. I tried him, and I really liked the way he played. I just didn't think he was the best at point guard, even though he's a great player. It just didn't really fit my style. So I had to come up with a good complement for Iverson. And I had Isiah Thomas on my team for a long time, at least in my collection. I never really played much with him, and I just kind of went away from him. Part of the reason for that is his reputation. Isiah Thomas, as a player, was really good, but he also had a reputation for being an attitude. And in my basketball fan history, I didn't really start paying attention to the game until the 90s. And Isiah was a great player in the 80s and towards the beginning of the 90s. And you see there he gets a nice easy steal. That's not his first steal this game. He's doing a lot right here. But Isiah won a couple championships with the Pistons. He also won a championship in college with Indiana. So he was a really good, accomplished player. Did a lot, and just wasn't around during the times that I paid a lot of attention to basketball. He also had quite an attitude, and him and Jordan went back and forth. They had quite a rivalry going. And at the end of the half, look at that nice, easy, over-the-shoulder layup by Isiah. But there was one notable moment where it came to light that Isiah was trying to freeze out Jordan. It was in one of the All-Star games in the early 90s where Jordan was the newcomer on the scene. Isiah was a veteran player, and there was a pact made between Isiah and his teammates on the Eastern Conference All-Stars to basically deny Jordan, their own teammate, from getting the ball. So with that, basically there's some bad blood between them. And it came back to haunt Isiah because when they formed the 92 Dream Team, which everybody knows, Jordan specifically did not want Isiah on the team, and that's why Isiah was not part of the Dream Team. And Isiah was part of the 1980 Olympic team, which never happened because of the, I believe that Olympic was in Moscow, so they just never even showed up for that. And he was part of a later Dream Team, selected to the Dream Team 2, but got injured, so he was not able to compete in that game. Well, he's got a couple of rings, and he's also got the NCAA championship, but he never was part of one of the Olympic Dream Teams. So I'll always think of him as the guy that did just about everything, but not everything, and that's where Jordan definitely has all of those accomplishments and many more. So given that attitude and his reputation for being kind of having an attitude as a coach as well, I think his tenure in New York ended with a sexual harassment case. He went to Florida International and rubbed some people the wrong way there. It just caused me not to want to play with him in this game, and that's one of the cool things about my team is if you don't like people, you don't have to play with them.
His 4 turnovers aren't helping his team's cause at all, are they?
And then Kemp slams it in.
So as I started making it into the higher seeds, I needed to find a good 6-man, and I searched my roster many times. I looked at the current players available, and I really liked Russell Westbrook, but he got injured right about the point I wanted to buy him. I like the way Russell Westbrook plays. He's a great player. I like his ability to take it inside and his defense, and he just wasn't available. So I looked at the people I had, and Isiah was there. And I looked inside at some of his ratings. He had a really good pass rating up in the 90s, really good steal rating, high on-ball defense. And I decided to give him a shot. And I haven't taken him out of that 6-man position ever since. He's earned his spot. And as you can see in this game, he gets it done. Great passer, great defender, and a good scorer. And I like the way he scores. It's a very good inside kind of layup. He doesn't need to do the spin move. I'm not required to do the spin move to score with Isiah. He actually just runs past people with his quickness and speed, just like Iverson. If he gets a lot of pressure inside, he can immediately take the step back and shoot. He can shoot off dribble because he's got the high shoot off dribble ratings. His shooting ability from inside is amazing. As you can see there with the alley-oop, his passing is pretty good as well. So Isiah became my 6-man, and I split minutes between him and Iverson. I say Iverson to Thomas is probably about a 60-40 ratio. So that's a lot of minutes out of the 6-man. And there's even sets where I'll put Isiah out there at the shooting guard position for some defense. I've got a pickpocket on him, and I've gotten a lot of turnovers with Isiah. So for the rest of this game, we'll just talk about his highlights. He plays really well this game, so I'm just going to leave him in for most of the rest of the game. And that's exactly what I'm talking about there, that double step inside layup there to fake out the defender. He's got some pretty sick moves near the basket. So now we're in the fourth quarter. My opponents come back and tied the game from a 13-point deficit. I go to my inbound move. Mitch Richmond hits a shot off, but he's contested, and it does not go in. But I get the rebound with Kemp, and I start moving the ball around to see what I can do. Kemp gives a nice big pick. Jordan probably could have taken it to the rack at that time, but pulls up with a jumper. Not a good shot rating, but it goes in. And I'm doing my best to play defense. I got a big team effort there, and because of that layup animation, Jordan comes in for the easy block. And now I'm getting fouled. So I need to get some more points. I want to get this lead back and win the game comfortably. My opponent knows that I'm trying to get to the rack, and all he can do is foul me. I've got Iverson in right now, and I'm going to try and use his quickness to get some offense going. It's double teamed, and I commit a turnover. Iverson's trying to go to Jordan, and it gets picked off, and there's Jordan to the other Jordan. And look at that move. When my opponent's running free there, I don't try to block the shot, I just try to steal it, and I've got a lot of players with pickpocket and high steal ratings, and that gets me the possession back. But I turn it over again. Iverson, he's 0 for 2 right now in terms of passes, so I think I need to take him out. Who do I put in? Obviously it's going to be Isiah. So now we're late in the game, my opponent's up by 1, and I need a basket from Isiah. Look at that, he moves all the way around the defense, double step up and in with the layup, and I am up by 1. Isiah comes through in the clutch. And now I'm back on defense. Got Isiah out there trying to defend against Jordan. Jordan takes him the wrong way, and it's stolen by Starks, and Isaiah's there to pick up the loose ball. Isaiah's going to the rack, he lays it up, and it's good. No contest from Jordan there. Look at Starks. He's getting hype right now. Isaiah's running back, getting position, defend. He knows Ray Allen's creeping out there on the wing. Jordan takes it inside, but passes back out, and there's a hand up, and it's Moses Malone. Got my defensive set in, and it got me another turnover. And now I'm up by 3, shooting some free throws. First one goes in. I'm up by 4. I'm feeling pretty good about this game right now. Here's another free throw. No pressure. Good. Alright, now I'm up by 5. My opponent needs a lot of offense in a short amount of time in order to get this game back. Let's go to the inbound play. I've got my defensive set out there, and I'm defending against a 3, and he takes it inside with Bird, so I got tricked there. I inbound the play to Starks, who's a great free throw shooter, and that's pretty much it. This is going to turn into a free throw contest. I just need to make these free throws, and I'll be good. And then Starks is money from the free throw line. I'm not too worried about this, but he misses one. I'm down by 4 now, so I need to start playing some more defense. Starks goes out there. Allen's so predictably going out to the 3-point line to shoot. I defend against that. Get the rebound and a foul. It's Tom Sanders this time. He's also a pretty good free throw shooter, and I feel pretty good about this game. So, I've found my 6th man. It's Isiah. He is a really good player, and one of the best capabilities you can have on a player that plays outside in this game is the ability at any time to take it inside and score, and that's what Isiah gives me. I'd caveat that by saying that he's not for everybody. It depends on your style of play. If you like to shoot threes, maybe Mark Price or maybe one of the shooting point guards is your kind of player. But for me, I like taking it inside, and I think that's really important in controlling games because not only can you shoot it from outside, but taking it inside and threatening your opponent to defend you at any position on the floor is what's really important. As you can tell, this is a team effort. Starks isn't one player of the game, but for me, Isiah is the true player of the game. He's only on the floor for 8 minutes, but he gets 12 points, 4 assists with only 1 turnover.